Okay. Well, this was fascinating. So, I ran across this gentleman working here who is told me some really fascinating stuff. So, okay, so this was owned by Oral Roberts, and the building has been privately owned since it was built in 1957. Oral Roberts sold this building to a telephone company who had offices in here for a while. The telephone company then basically boarded it up. This is in the 80s, right? So in the early 80s, the previous owner boarded it up and has done nothing with it. It was recently sold to an investment group here in Tulsa that is going to renovate this. This gentleman told me that every wall is coming down. He said only the physical structure of the building will be left, and it will become condos, because obviously this building is way too ugly as it stands right now to attract any serious, investment or whatever you want to call it. No one wants to live in a building quite this ugly, right? Even if they put windows in it. So yeah, so this guy who's working this site, he's saying right now they are in the gutting it out phase. He said that they have removed all the asbestos, and right now they are removing basically anything and everything. So it's going to be just the frame of this building, including the walls, are all coming down, which is kind of interesting because I can't imagine what this would look like after the walls are deleted. So I'm going to try to keep tabs on the progress of this place. But here's the fascinating part, right? So this guy tells me that over the last 35 or so years, he said there was a satanic church of Tulsa that broke in here, did a video recording up top of this building. So there was I guess this was one of the first televised televangelist televised church deals back in the 60s and 70s, right? So the Tulsa Satanic Church, after this place went dormant, broke in and made some sort of video and took a bunch of dead animals up there. Now this is according to this guy I just talked to, working this job site. He said it has been a homeless camp for 30 plus years. He says when they opened this up to start this work, he said they found 4 dead homeless people. He said there has been a couple of murders here. He said there's a total of 6 dead people they found in total. He said there was one situation where a woman killed her husband and then killed herself in this building. And he said that the homeless people, even though it's got basically 3 doors, there's doors in the front, there's a couple sets of doors in the back, and there's a 30-foot deep shaft with a grate over it that is the air intake for the original heating and cooling system. He said they have found people have been able to break in through the heating and cooling ducts, and basically he said even though they're working on it now, they've only gone about a week and a half before somebody has broken in here. So it's obviously not very secure, but by the looks of it, they have put these not very sturdy doors, kind of residential looking doors, inside of a plywood box. So that's really not that secure if you think about it. But this was really fascinating. I mean, so yeah, I expect in the next year to 2 years these are going to be condos. He said there's going to be about 40 units total, and the building was always privately owned, which I thought was kind of interesting because you would think this has been abandoned so long that maybe delinquent property taxes or something, you think the city would have owned it, but apparently it's been in private ownership since it was built. So that's kind of interesting. I mean, it's kind of a brutally ugly building. It may have looked a little bit better with the diamond facade on it, but it's definitely not an architectural gem. But interesting backstory. So yeah, that's the scoop on this building.